It has been quite a week in Blue Bomber land, frankly, across the Canadian prairies, as we saw a thrilling overtime final in Regina in the Labor Day Classic. And the Banjo Bowl is going to be an absolute madhouse on Matheson. Lots to get to on the program today, including comments from quarterback Zach Collarus and head coach Mike O'Shea, both immediately after the game and then following practice today, which is Wednesday. Thanks to everybody out there for joining us. Reminding you that Friday at noon, Chris Walby will join me for Game Day Winnipeg in the pregame show. Zach Schnitzer will join me for the postgame, Game Day After Dark, of course. And, well, as always, joins me here on Bonfire Midweek. How you doing, Schnitzy? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, buddy. I'm not quite as mad as the Bomber players are right now, but I'm ready for some revenge on Saturday, baby. I'm ready for some revenge.
It's a chance for immediate retribution, immediate revenge for the Bombers following the 32-30 overtime loss in Regina. Lots has been said, lots has been digested this week, and the Bombers return to the practice field. You know, before we get into Collarus' comments after the game and Mike O'Shea's comments after the game, the headbutt from Pete Robertson, he was suspended one game, presuming he will serve that on Saturday in the Banjo Bowl. No word yet on if he will appeal, but it's not looking like he will. I'm thinking we would have heard something by now, but I would love to get right into our weekly segment that you bring us, and that is your sober second thought now that you've had a chance to digest the Labor Day Classic.
Well, of course, I always have my question, concern, and crazy good moment, DB. My question was actually echoed on the coaches show this week and by Jeff Hamilton in the Free Press. The Rouge, not the second Rouge that made it a 3-point game. The first Rouge, the one with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We gave up a single point. This game went to overtime. Every point mattered. And I bring up this Rouge because it cost us. Because we were only up by 3 at the end of the game instead of 4. So they kicked a field goal to tie it, DB. But Firestarters, I'm fired up because we didn't need to give up a single point with 9 minutes left. Parker let the ball go over his head, which he should have done. He was at the 10-yard line. That's the strategy. Bounced it like the 4-yard line. It was the right play. Take a knee in the end zone. Well, sure enough, a Rider player was in the 5-yard halo. There was no yards. What happens if there's no yards in the end zone? You get the ball at your own 30. But O'Shea decides it's going to be worth it to give up a point to the Riders in a tight game to take the ball at the 40. 10 yards difference for a point. And in a game that went into overtime, that could have been a 4-point game, forcing the Riders to score a touchdown, it was a 3-point game. The second single point they gave up, you give it up because the ball bounced at the 2. They would have run it back to maybe the 12 or 13. It's a dumb play. So that single I get. This one, my question is, why the heck did they do it? Well, on the postgame show, O'Shea said even he was questioning his own decision, which you never hear him say, really. But he said the stats told him that it's easier. You're bound to score more points if you go from the 40 versus the 30. But we end up scoring a touchdown on that drive anyway to go ahead. That's the Pete Robertson headbutt series. So my question is, why did they give up a point instead of just taking it 10 yards back? I don't get it. And O'Shea even said he's going to, from now on, maybe give up maybe not negate the points so they can start in the 30 and see what happens. Even he's not convinced. So he had to look in the mirror for that one, DB. What did you think of that decision?
Yeah, in hindsight, it was probably the wrong decision.
Yeah.
1 point versus 10 yards.
Yeah.
And, when that penalty happened, maybe it caught them off guard in their decision making. It's been interesting hearing Mike O'Shea, following the game, and then later in the week, now that they've returned to practice in prep. But I don't think the coach is ever going to admit that they should have done something else, because I think it can come across as an excuse. And I think that's the only reason he won't do that. I truly believe that. So, like every game, win or lose, lessons learned. And in the future, I think he will be a little bit more aware of that. The entire coaching staff will be a little bit more aware of that. It was a very close game. Very, very close game, as frankly expected, because Labor Day games are always so hard fought and so, tooth and nail battles, which really sets us up for a Banjo Bowl rematch on Saturday, which is going to be a beauty. But obviously the headline coming out of the game was the Pete Robertson headbutt to Zach Collarus. I want to pull up Zach Collarus's post-game comments in case people out there missed it. It was brief, just really 60 seconds.
Well, let me get to my concern and crazy good
I
moment first.
apologize.
Fucking always trying to eat into my sober second thought, Darrin. I'm not going to be sober anymore now. I'm going to start drinking. I'm going to start drinking so it's not sober. Anyway, it's okay. I cut myself off there. No, I mean, O'Shea did admit that he would think about it next time. Maybe he's going to do things differently. So, yeah, no, he's not making an excuse. I get that. Anyway, concerns. Obviously, you all know what I'm going to say for concerns. It's our bloody kick coverage is brutal. It's putrid. It's absolutely putrid. You want to know how many yards Alfred had compared to Parker and McRae? Parker and McRae together had 84 yards of returns on nine kick and punt returns combined.
Okay.
Alfred on 10 had 237. His kick returns averaged 38.8 yards. McRae's averaged 13.5. And when the Riders had to tie the game, they started on their own 50, for God's sakes. Like our kick return is the worst in the league. Kickoff returns are worst in the league, DB. Our punts are third worst in terms of coverage. It's brutal. Like they have to clean. I said it's going to lose them games, and it lost them the game. 237 versus 84. Almost triple the amount of kick return yardage. You just can't win football games that way. It's brutal. It's not just a concern anymore. It's downright dangerous for this team, and they're going up against Alfred again, and God forbid they lose the Banjo Bowl based on field position, or if he busts one for a touchdown. Like something needs to happen. And my crazy good moment is the end of the second quarter. Dembski has a 46-yard completion, which set up the Bombers' first touchdown, a diving catch to Drew Wolodarski, Darrin. It was such a good catch by Dembski. He basically one-handed taps it to himself, and it wasn't even his longest play. He had a 52-yarder later, and for all that, he was rated the top player by Pro Football Focus this week. So pretty sweet for Nick Dembski. We call him the Canadian Army Knife. Love that guy. That's my sober second thought. Now we can do other things, okay?
Okay. So as you guys know, or if you've noticed, your sober second thought is your question, your concern, and your crazy good moment.
Yeah, baby.
Which I love hearing every single week. Apologies for cutting you short there. I've got a bunch of
You
clips
got
that
lots of
I've cut
stuff,
up.
buddy. I'm excited.
Yeah, I got a bunch of clips that I've cut up,
Yeah.
and let's dig right into it. Let's start with Zach Collarus after the game. 60 seconds of heat.
Zach, how do you sum up your feelings after that game?
We lost, so we're not happy about it.
You obviously get that touchdown from Kenny. You've got one last chance to tie it up.
We got to execute on the goal line.
What's the biggest difference in games like that, Zach?
execution yet. Turn the ball over early, give them 3 points, we lose by 3.
We were pretty heated on the sidelines after that hit by Robertson. What did you see on that play?
What did you see?
Saw a guy headbutt me.
Yeah. You think the league will do anything about it?
I'm not sure.
You've been in this. You've been around for a long time. What would your assumption be?
I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
league doesn't always.
Yeah. Surprise you. It happens all the time.
Yeah, I'm wondering, in that kind of game, it looked like, I know you could look at a lot of different plays, but another slow start for you guys.
Yeah, not good enough. We didn't execute. What did we complete 3 passes in the first half? It's terrible.
How do you account for that? I mean, obviously, this offense is prolific offense.
I don't know. Are we prolific? I don't know. We need to be better.
And just like that, not mincing words, is the Blue Bombers quarterback after the game. That is the entirety of his post-game media availability, in case you're wondering. 63 seconds in total it lasted. If you couldn't make out the question at the end there from Jeff Hamilton of the Winnipeg Free Press, who had a great back and forth with the Blue Bombers quarterback, it was, how do you account for that slow start, that tough first half with an offense that is prolific? And Collarus stopped himself from saying it, but he's like, are we prolific? The way they're playing right now, I think they're leaving a lot of plays on the field. They need to be a much better team offensively when it comes to consistency. They can score. They've got weapons, but they should be doing it on a lot more consistent level from start to finish, full 60 minutes. Great to see everybody in the live chat, by the way. I'm seeing people hitting the thumbs up. I get little alerts when it happens live, so hit that thumbs up right now. That's awesome. But Collarus had a lot to say about the headbutt from Pete Robertson without saying much, and even referred to it today on day 1 of practice as, he's like, thank goodness Jeff was there to, say the things that I didn't want to say, which are, are you expecting the CFL to do anything about it? And he said, I wouldn't hold my breath. He goes, well, there you go. So some good comments from the quarterback there. What did you think of his post-game thoughts?
I loved it, dude. I loved it. Someone on the chat said he was hot under the Collarus. Love that, James and the Peg. That's good.
Well done.
He was pissed. I've never seen him that pissed. And poor Jeff Hamilton, the Hammer, had to take it. But he's a resilient dude, the Hammer. I'm sure he's fine.
Oh, he didn't like there was nothing wrong with that exchange. Nothing wrong.
I'm not saying there was anything wrong with it. I was just saying, like, he was like, what do you think? It's like when you have a conversation with, he handled it great, Hammer. Like he knows what he's doing. But
hey, he's the president of the Football Reporters of Canada for a reason.
He's the president? They let that guy be the president?
Yeah. And somehow they let me be one of the VPs. It's crazy.
You're a VP.
Token.
DB. Token VP. No. There's some companies have so many VPs though. VP of marketing.
We have a few. We have a few in the FRC, but
VP of fantasy sports, whatever. What did you guys do the other night? You had
Well, yeah, just as a quick aside, the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame in the Sport Manitoba building downtown hosted our first ever it's the Media League fantasy football draft. And lots of people tweeted about it. I'm going to send something out a little bit later, but they want people to know that they host events. So if you've got, any sort of event, give them a call at Sport Manitoba and the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame. Amazing atmosphere amongst all of that, storied history and very cool artifacts and trophies and all different types of stuff. So yeah, we did that, but great job by Jeff Hamilton. No words minced from the Blue Bombers quarterback or the head coach. Here is Mike O'Shea following the game.
Rightfully so. Ridiculous. I'm not sure why there's not a flag on the field. It's got to go to the command center. I do not understand that. I hear it too many times that I didn't see it, and I don't know what to say. I'm not sure what the standard is anymore, really. And I'm on the rules committee, so I have no clue.
The explanation is they just didn't see it. Like you have two officials standing right there. I mean, what are they watching?
Yeah, I could probably ask what kind of flavor ice cream they like, and I didn't see it. So
What kind of flavor ice cream would you like? We didn't see it. We didn't see the play. O'Shea, cracking a joke to cut the tension a little bit with, how disappointing it was that the play was not called a penalty by any of the on-field officials. It was Command Center in Toronto that ruled it obviously an objectionable conduct for unnecessary roughness. But the bigger issue here is that while Pete Robertson was handed a swift supplemental discipline with a 1-game suspension the next day, he should have been removed from the game. And I understand that, Cam Lawson's helmet contacted Jake Dolegala in the head.
Yeah.
That's a penalty, right? Jackson Jeffcoat's helmet contacted the Rough Riders quarterback in years gone by.
2018 Western
penalty.
Semi.
The difference is between the white lines, between the whistles, versus after the play and completely nothing to do with football. That's the difference. And when
unfortunately, Darrin, sorry, I got to interrupt because I'm so pissed off about this. On social media, there's a bunch of Rider fans, it seems, who don't think there's a difference, who even say that the Cameron Lawson hit was worse. And worse than that, they're saying Zach flopped. Like an Italian soccer player or something, people are saying. Like, how can you not know the difference between what Cameron Lawson did and what Pete Robertson did? One is a football play between the white lines. The other is an egregious, inexcusable headbutt after the play is over.
Yeah. No, agreed. And I'll give you a piece of free advice, and everybody out there. Everybody has an opinion. They're worth what they're worth. You don't have to listen to people on social media, right? You don't have to. So, I know what I know, and I know what I see. And one is a football play. That's illegal, but it happens to the best, happens to the worst, at the best of times and the worst of times. And another is an after the play non-football issue, right? He should have been removed from the game. That really would have done it. An ejection from the game, then you wouldn't have, you probably wouldn't have supplemental discipline afterwards. So the Rough Riders won the game. Their their leader in sacks with 5, Pete Robertson, got to play the rest of that game. The rest is the rest. However, before we hear from Zach Collarus following practice today, as well as head coach Mike O'Shea, now that, the fog of war has cleared, and maybe the intensity, the emotions, the boiling blood has calmed a little bit. Before we do that, I want to draw attention to the Winnipeg Wolf Pack. Now, they're a group of tackle football players in our community age 16 and up, and the Wolf Pack welcome a diverse group of athletes who love the game and travel to play in different cities across Western Canada and the United States. Experienced coaches promote growth and development in every player and work to grow women's football. The Wolfpack currently recruiting athletes who want to be empowered and find new opportunities within the game while playing games right here in Winnipeg. The Wolfpack are looking forward to an upcoming travel for events both in Canada and the United States. Their next event, it's just a couple weeks away. They're going to North Dakota, September 23rd. They are looking for players right now. There is the Winnipeg Wolf Pack and there is the Winnipeg Fearless, 2 women's football clubs in the city here. So if you want to play football or you know somebody that wants to play football, really easy. Just email info.wpgwolfpack@gmail.com. It's up on your screen right now. It's in the video description below. It'll be in your podcast description. But it's very simple. info.wpgwolfpack@gmail.com. Big ups to them for sponsoring us for the next little stretch of time here on Bonfire Sports. And great to support local amateur football here in the city, in the province, and of course to have women and girls age 16 and up playing football is pretty awesome thing, because the game's for everybody. Following practice today, quarterback Zach Collarus had some, well, he took some time to talk with reporters, and I think it's worth your time to bring it in as well.
All right.
Go ahead.
How you feel?
Everybody good?
Feel good.
All good?
Yeah.
How long did it? Was there anything lingering after that? After the headbutt?
No, nothing lingered after the game. Just it was kind of just shocked in the moment, and then obviously a little angry after.
Yeah. How you get?
All right.
Go ahead.
How you feel?
A little angry after.
Yeah. How he gets a game now, which after the game you expressed maybe some concern that nothing would happen. How unjust do you think is one game for that?
It's hard for a player to say. I'll say, again, speaking about it after the game, you never want to advocate for somebody to lose a paycheck or anything like that, right? But again, I think we've kind of gone over this enough times. A lot of us here with some of the decisions that get made with protecting, the quarterbacks in the league. So again, couple that with kind of the shock and anger from the moment, and obviously upset about losing. Again, you don't want to sit there and advocate for somebody to lose pay, but I just felt like at that moment something needed to be said, and Jeff luckily filled it in for me.
And you need a deterrent, though, right? And that's the whole point of suspensions.
Yeah, you'd think so. Yeah.
Do you feel the league took this one seriously?
Sure.
Pleased to know, Zach, that the suspension, that the league made a decision very swiftly, so that this didn't draw on for too many days in the lead up to the rematch on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they typically would handle something like that, or if it depends on what day it is. What was it, a day after a holiday or something like that? So, yeah, it's a big game. Everybody's moving forward. Obviously didn't have the result that we wanted out there. Hats off to SAS for playing a good game, especially defensively. Offensively, we didn't execute at a high enough level. Felt like we left a lot of plays out there, but a lot of it was either miscommunication or SAS making a good play. So hats off to them for it.
You played against Robertson enough times to know what he's all about. So were you surprised that a guy that's got the reputation as being a pretty honest player did what he did?
Yeah, again, I don't think Pete's a dirty player at all. So always been somebody I think is a pro to go up against, and probably just let the moment get the best of him.
Have you ever been headbutted before?
Not like that, no.
But you have been?
Yeah, I mean, it's football. You get headbutted all the time. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess during a play or, just never that late after a play. It was just kind of shocking.
Is it dramatically different during a play and then after the play?
Yeah, I mean, usually if you do get a helmet to the face mask or to the head, you're carrying the football, right? So yeah, it's different.
Zach, have you ever had the chance with the league or anybody to say what you would like to see done in these kind of circumstances to protect the quarterback better?
No, I've never talked to anybody in the league or really the PA except for our reps. So
What would you say?
I don't know. I'd have to think it through a little. I'd have to think it through, and really. I guess an argument's not the right word, but just I'd want to cover all the bases, and again, you're not advocating to take money out of people's pockets. It's just to protect the position, and I think we talked about it last year with the Jeremiah Mazzoli episode. You want to keep the players on the field. Just because I'm a quarterback, I'm not saying this. I think the NFL does it, the CFL should as well. You want to keep the quarterbacks on the field, so that just kind of is what it is.
Going back to 2019 already, you made the point that, you have to, the injured player who gets the hit has to leave the game, yet the other guy doesn't. I mean, that'd be a way to handle it. He's not losing the game check.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to belabor any more of it than we have to. Again, I don't want to advocate for people to lose money, but as you said, there needs to be some type of deterrent. And again, it's not up to me, but I've never been approached by anybody about it. So.
Yeah. We belabor, that's what we do for a living.
Yeah, that's good.
Are you bothered that it wasn't called on the field in the moment?
Yeah, in the moment I was certainly bothered, but I mean, I would just assume that nobody saw it happen. That would be the only explanation, because it's, I think it's, I mean, Micah was standing right there too, and Micah was pretty shocked that it happened, right? So just, again, it was kind of a what the hell moment, you know? So I guess just a referee didn't see it.
So what's the temperature between these teams heading into
I think it's always a great rivalry. You know, again, they're a really good football team, really good defense. And you know, as I said, you know, before the first game and even before the week 2 game, it starts up front with them. They're really good front four. They have great backers and do a great job on the back end. So, you know, I thought they played a really good game. We didn't. So we're excited.
Fun to get another shot at them right away when you lose to a team?
Yeah, you know, you always want to get back out there on the field, especially after a loss. It's never fun to sit around and belabor the loss.
So quarterback Zach Collarus speaking to reporters today, Zach, and you know, a little bit more refreshing, but I gotta say, very impressed with the medal of Zach Collarus. Very classy, saying, you know, I don't believe Pete Robertson is a dirty player. The moment got the best of him. You know, asked, you know, do you feel the league took this seriously? Pause. Sure, said the Blue Bombers quarterback, which is very nuanced, and I like that a lot. You know, it raises the question of what is the CFL doing to protect quarterbacks, and you can understand why Zach Collarus feels this way because he has been at the brunt of a lot of punishment through his career, Zach.
Yeah. He's had to deal with this a lot. I mean, what could the league do that they aren't doing to protect quarterbacks? I wonder. You know, did they? He shied away from this. He doesn't want to see guys lose game checks. But do they suspend them for more than one game? Do they fine them higher amounts? Like, how do you protect quarterbacks?
Well, here's the thing: the 1 game suspension, I think, is probably what I would have expected. I guess you could put it. I think it's the right suspension. A 2 game suspension is like a 9 game suspension in the NHL. When's the last time you heard of a guy, first offense, getting a 9 game suspension, or even a 7 game suspension, or even, frankly, a 5 game suspension for one instance in their career?
Yeah, doesn't happen.
No. So if
I mean, Andrew Harris got suspended 2 games for drugs.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different, you know. Yeah, we'll leave that there. But you know, Collarus has taken a lot of punishment in his career. I wanted to pull this up. Waiters, who's always in the live chat, what's going on, Waiters? Shout out to you. We're going to your YouTube channel right now with a bit of a recap you put together of all of the hits that Collarus has taken in his career. Well, and unfortunately, we don't have the audio from the TSN broadcast of several years ago, but this is one hit he took as a member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and a helmet-to-helmet hit. That's Odell Willis with the Edmonton football team at the time. Here is Collarus now with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and, well, who is it? It's Odell Willis again, then a member of the BC Lions, and we'll see a replay of this. Another helmet-to-helmet hit. That one, Zach, I don't know about you, but that second one, a little bit more of a football play than the first one, which was pretty late. This obviously is the infamous Simone Lawrence hit late to the head when Collarus was in a vulnerable position, sliding to the ground, which is always tough to see. So that's just 3 of the, like, there you can see it clear as day. Collarus down on the ground, like, butt is on the turf, and a hook slide. So you shouldn't even be going after him before that. There he is down, and Lawrence finds helmet contact there. I think he was leading with the shoulder, but shoulder to the head, helmet to the head as well. So,
and Zach goes on to beat him in the Grey Cup.
Pardon me?
Zach goes on to beat him in the Grey Cup with us.
Right.
Sweet revenge.
Yeah, a few years later. But there's Collarus having some words with Simone Lawrence.
Well, Simone Lawrence is an ass clown. I'm sorry. He deserved it.
Here is one Garrett Marino put on Zach Collarus, now a member of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Watch for the replay here. Another one where didn't need to happen. But, there's Garrett Marino, no longer in pro football. Here's another one with Winnipeg against the Edmonton Elks. Of course, this is earlier this year. The Coney Ely hit to the head afterwards. And then, of course, most recently, the Pete Robertson headbutt following an incomplete pass. So you see, football plays over. Don't tell me he's flopping. Not expecting to have any contact. Chris Kolinkowski going in there to have some words. Smartly held back by Chris Kolinkowski. But those are just some of the moments Zach Collarus has had to endure in his CFL career. So you can understand why he is skeptical the Canadian Football League does enough.
Yeah, when you stack him up like that, he has every reason to be pissed. I'm surprised he was so measured today. He's a classy individual.
Yep.
To go from taking that punishment just a few days ago, yeah, he's a classy individual, probably classier than the CFL deserves.
Yeah, I agree. Head coach Mike O'Shea also spoke following practice today and was asked right off the hop about the suspension to Pete Robertson.
Robertson's suspension when it came down.
Yeah, I thought it was needed, and obviously they were pretty swift with it. Probably could have happened during the game, but at least they reacted. Yeah.
Did the league approach your team, you or Wade or Kyle, about just the decision-making process?
Not me. No.
Do you feel like that there was anything clarified for you? Because in the aftermath, you said that you weren't sure what the standard was with respect to, I guess, call in the field. Has anything been clarified?
Nope. Nothing yet. I believe it will be. I trust that it will be.
Mm-hmm. I feel like
I'm going to pause it there, Zach, and just say I really like that answer from Mike O'Shea. Haven't heard, but I trust that it will be something that we will discuss in the future.
Mm-hmm.
A little more from the coach.
Zach was, at least the justice was served for Zach in this instance.
I don't know. I never think of it that way. I guess, I'd like to see. I mean, if you want to curb that behavior, there has to be, I think, an immediate response. Yeah.
Is there not a
And you know what? I'll pause it again there, Zach, and just say, when asked about if justice was served, Mike O'Shea, didn't want to address it directly, saying he doesn't think about it that way, but did say that, I think the most important point in all of this, and that is that it should have been handled immediately, removed from the game, and then you don't have to suspend the player.
Well, and psychologically, if you ever look at behavior management, the best punishment or the most effective punishment is immediate.
Yep.
It's immediate. It has to be immediate, or else you lose the cause and effect principle. He just should have been thrown out of the game. I don't know how the refs missed
Well, and you
it.
think about it too, like a 1-score game and a player, like, you're gone, you can't play anymore. That is such a deterrent And
Yeah.
isn't that what that's about? Like, nobody wants
Yeah.
to leave a close game. Nobody wants to leave any
No.
game, but especially a close game, because they feel that they can make an impact in it. That's the way you deter this from happening. You remove them from the game. A little bit more from the coach today.
You're ejected from a game
Yes,
for
there is.
something egregious?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I know a punch thrown is pretty automatic. But it
I'm
doesn't
not
have-
sure that's the way it is anymore.
Yeah.
I think the officials have said that they have a hard time ejecting someone because it's a very big, it's a big outcome, right? It can affect the game, and the officials don't want to have that. They want to officiate a game without determining the outcomes, right? And ejecting a player in their mind could have a big effect on the outcome of a game, which I don't know. I think if we want, like I said, if you want the behavior corrected, that would be an easy step to get it done.
Yeah. It's all about deterrence, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. What's the part you are still hoping and expecting to get a clarification on?
Yeah, just that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that there wasn't a flag thrown immediately. That isn't.
Yeah. Just the reach of the command center, you know.
The reach of it.
Yeah, like how they have the ability to do that. I'd like clarification on that part.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Coach, could I ask your reaction to how Chris Kolinkowski reacted in the moment to the headbutt?
Yeah, guys are going to react however they're going to react. I thought Brady did a good job of trying to keep things calm down out there. You know, that it's happened. Nothing really after that is going to make a difference except getting the penalty and scoring, right, which we did. So I'm not sure that there's, any physicality, retribution that way is, it's going to end up in offsetting penalties. And we're right back to kicking a field goal probably or whatever. First down maybe, but the goal is to score. So sure, I don't mind what, their thought process, but I like what Brady did too.
I think there's a certain sect of us as fans that wants an eye for an eye, but I don't feel like 2023 football is that anymore.
I don't think football's been that way for a long time.
So there's the head coach saying it quite plainly, Zach, that eye for an eye doesn't exist in football anymore. But just prior to that, in answering Paul Friesen's question, wanting clarity about the reach of command center, right? Mike O'Shea's understanding, if I'm hearing him correctly, is that the command center can make that call to eject a player. So if nobody on the field saw it, command center should presumably step in and eject the player. Because that's if that's not an ejectable offense, what is?
Mm-hmm.
Let alone on a quarterback. Let alone. And Paul Friesen then asking about a punch is an automatic ejection. Well, it used to be. You threw a punch, it was an automatic ejection. I don't think it is anymore. So O'Shea wants more clarity on those things, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Well said. You'd think the command center could eject a player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from that, it's going to be a pretty heated game, I can imagine, in the Banjo Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing the pregame show with Chris Walby Friday at noon, special time, Friday noon. Not just a special time, a special guest ahead of the Banjo Bowl. For those that watch closely and listen closely, I think you might know who is going to join me and Chris Walby on the pregame show. Special guest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The tarpaulin?
Looking forward to that. No, on the pregame. No, not the tarpaulin. That's funny.
He'll be draped all over you guys, the tarpaulin. You won't
Yes.
be able to get a word off. He'll just be right in your face.
Well, they've been throwing at him lately, and he's been showing up. So,
Oh man, did he ever make a play on the ball in the Labor Day Classic? One of his knockdowns was unbelievably. I just don't know how he does it. Like going full speed, you can't knock the receiver too early. He just tipped the ball at the perfect time, last second. Incredible athlete.
Yeah. Some people in the live chat mentioning Dave Foxcroft as the head official. I think it was Major.
Yeah, it was Ben Major.
It was Ben Major, the official.
Yeah.
Mistakes happen. You don't relieve someone of their duties because of a mistake. Wasn't that egregious? Let's be serious. We're talking about people's livelihoods here.
Yeah.
Anyway, even Zach Collarus says, I don't want to advocate for someone to, lose a paycheck, right? It's all about having a deterrent in place so these things don't happen, period.
Yeah.
Okay, so that leaves it at that. I think we've touched on most of the things we wanted to do, but we need to go around the Canadian Football League, as we always do off the top of the show. This week, we'll do it a little bit later because we had some bigger fish to fry in the pan, Zach. Did you get to any fish frying when you were out at West Talk?
I did not. I'm not a fisherman. I have never really fished.
Your pardon? What did you say?
I am not a fisherman. I've never really fished.
You're not a fisher.
I'm not a fisher.
Okay.
I've never fished. I know people love it and swear by it as an activity, as a hobby, as a way to get together with friends. But I mean, if someone wants to catch me a fish and do a little pickerel fish fry or some walleye or whatever, love it.
I might have to
nothing
get you
against
out.
fishing.
I might have to get you out on get you out with my country boys. We'll have a nice little fish fry. Definitely.
Yeah, show me how to do it and I'll do it.
Scott Westerman asking, is practice tomorrow open to the public? It is not. It is not even open to the media. It is a closed practice. So if you weren't able to get to practice today, Wednesday, you're out of luck. Walkthrough is open on Friday. You can find practice times for that. I think it's bluebombers.com/practice-schedule, I believe. Yeah, but you can call the Bombers office and they'll let you know. Call the Bombers store. They'll let you know. Good question there. Kyle, I wanted to bring this up. He goes, Darrin, how long is today's show? Do I go shower now or wait? Always wait. Always wait. But if you can't wait and you really need that shower, because sometimes we all do, that's the beauty of Bonfire Sports. On demand. Skip ahead. Backwards. Go fast forward. Rewind. You can jump all over the place. Watch, listen at your leisure. And on your podcast app too. If you watch on Facebook, if you watch on YouTube, go download it on your podcast app, and you can kind of, listen again or,
listen in the shower.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Have some shower beers.
Shower beers. There's all these people on the chat who want to take me fishing. This is great. I'll even cook the fish for you. Just if you want to catch it or show me how to teach a man to fish. That's what you got to do.
That's right. He'll never go hungry. Jeff Cavillas, does Bonfire Sports provide notes so I can have time off work just because?
Why does this guy need time off work? He already takes time off work during the workday to watch us, as he should. As everybody should. No boss should ever have a problem with an employee watching Bonfire or Winnipeg Sports Talk for that matter.
That's right. And it's going to continue following football season, even during football season, with a little bit of NFL coverage here on Bonfire Sports. Really excited to launch that very, very soon. And we've got some irons in the fire. Heating things up on Winnipeg Jets hockey coverage. We are going to be on the Jets all season. I write for NHL.com, but I definitely want to get to making some good stuff for you guys out there in Jets Nation. So let your friends know that Jets coverage coming to Bonfire Sports. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be fun. We've got some cool new things happening. with it as well. It's not going to be your regular, it's not going to be like we do CFL. We're going to do it a little different.
Yeah, you're not gonna use this model for NFL or NHL.
No,
because nobody can replicate the Schnitz.
No, that is true.
Hey, someone on the waiters makes a good point. Maybe we should do the show next Tuesday because apparently there's a Winnipeg Sports Talk trivia night on Wednesday. We don't want to.
Oh yes, okay.
Get in the way of trivia night.
Well, I would like to probably go to that trivia night.
I would like to go too. I've never been to a trivia night with them. Yeah. Is it at Little Brown Jug?
I imagine.
What time? Let's go. Yeah. I love trivia. I'm a trivial human being. I love trivia.
I love football. So I'm with Kevin Sproul. I'm excited too for NFL coverage. Great to see everybody in the live chat. Like Bombers 1985. Pun intended. I don't know what your pun was. I'll look for it here. But yeah, I don't even know. Let me know. I haven't seen you in the live chat before, but good to see you there. A millennial in the live chat. Bombers 1985.
Millennial.
I like that.
7 p.m. Little Brown Jug.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Very cool.
Let me check my calendar right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'll check later.
Now, going around the league. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's actually go around the league and take a quick look in the Labor Day weekend slate of games, which were a heck of a lot of fun to watch.
They were all good games. Yeah.
But I didn't get much labor. I had to labor through Labor Day weekend, but I definitely enjoyed watching this game. Vernon Adams Jr., another 300-yard passing game. Cody Fajardo, Zach, just the long ball. You were texting me during it. The long ball absolutely killed the Alouettes.
Yeah. Yeah, Fajardo, he just doesn't have. I'll just say it plainly. He's not accurate enough on the long ball. He throws it inside. The receiver needed to catch it outside, so it's a pick. I think he threw 2 end zone interceptions that game, which would have really changed things for the Alouettes. And I think he's the reason they lost. I'll say it like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're throwing, like, there's not a lot of room for error in the CFL where the DBs are professional DBs. If you're throwing it inside and it needs to be outside, it's going to get picked. He's just not good enough on the long ball. That was a knock on him in Regina.
Yeah. Well, it led to ultimately a loss for the Montreal Alouettes as the BC Lions broke a 2-game losing streak. They entered that game losers of 3 of their past 4. So the Lions now 8-4, the Bombers 9-3, the Rough Riders 6-5. So the West Division continues to entertain. We know all about the Labor Day Classic in Regina. We'll move on to the Toronto Argonauts, who really had their way with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Taylor Powell continues to impress me, Zach, but Chad Kelly in his first game after signing that real healthy contract extension, for clarity out there, he does not make the big check until next year. Next year, he will be the highest paid player in the CFL, surpassing Zach Collarus. But this year, it was just a big fat signing bonus that he got. I imagine they, topped up their salary cap for the 2023 calendar year. But the Argos continue to roll. They're 9-1. Bombers are 9-3. The Argos are out of bye weeks. The Bombers still have 2 bye weeks. So we'll see how that continues to shake out. You pointed out that these 2 teams do not play next week, Zach.
What the hell is that about? Why don't they have a rematch game?
It's a very strange thing. I do not know. But we're going to get to the Week 14 slate of games once we wrap up talking about this game, which was tons of fun. Holy cow.
Yeah, this was a
Trey
good game.
Ford is a player. The numbers don't show it too much here. 137 passing, but it does right here. 135 rushing on 11 carries. He had a couple monster runs, averaging over 14 yards per carry. Old pal Taylor Cornelius coming in short yardage. He had a touchdown, including
the corn dog.
Yeah, a large of 2, as you like to say.
A large of 2, Venti. A large.
But the Edmonton Elks looked to win their third straight game before the Stamps rushed back late and beat them in regulation with 22 points in the fourth quarter. Jake Mayer decided to play a little football. Threw for 315 yards, and Markeith Ambles and Reggie Bagleton, Mark and Michelle as well. Apologies for the screen flash there, guys. I don't know why it's doing that, but
it's the screen's flashing you, Darrin.
Yeah. Hello.
It's inappropriate.
Good morning.
How about Trey Ford's run where he runs backwards, side to side, backwards, and then he ends up getting like 40 yards? That was one of the craziest quarterback runs I've ever seen. That's like Lamar Jackson esque.
Yeah, Doug Flutie
esque.
Right? Tracy Ham esque.
Yeah, crazy.
And
crazy athlete. Like, this guy is a crazy athlete.
Bit of a pun there as well, right? Playing for Edmonton.
Oh, esque. Yeah, very well done, Darrin.
I mean,
you had
Tracy Ham Elks.
Yeah. Elks.
Either way,
yeah.
saying that just in fun and all due respect.
And how about that Dedrick Mills like dagger, that walk-off touchdown, basically, with like 34 seconds left. He runs to the right behind his line. He runs into his own guy. There's no room there. So he somehow pivots and runs to the left in for the touchdown. That was a crazy good run by Mills.
Yeah. I'm not going to pull up the comment on screen, but Sasha, that's a pretty funny comment there. Yeah, Tikona Poly, Justin Fields-esque. Definitely. Matt Dunnigan says he sees a little bit of Doug Flutie and Damon Allen in Trey Ford.
Yes, well, that's high praise, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. No question. Well, that brings us to CFL Week 14, which is it's going to be a good one, Zach.
Sorry, I just saw the Sasha comment.
Okay. Yeah,
that's good.
Jets Girl likes it. Jets Girl likes it.
I like it. I like it.
It'll be like the Yule log. Maybe come Christmas time, the holidays, we'll get into some of that. But
you Christians have such odd things. The Yule, like, what's a Yule log?
Yuletide cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christians, yeah, we're a little weird. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Christian per se, but I grew up in a household celebrating Christmas, you know?
Yeah. So did I, by the way. We celebrated Christmas too.
My lady, why not? She's not she's Jewish. By heritage.
Well, at least you have some good qualities, Darrin, some good judgment.
Good choices, right? What do they say? Good family choices. Is the friends are the family you choose. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't choose you, but get what you get.
I chose you, Darrin.
I had to settle for Schnitzy. Yeah, I jest, of course. So CFL Week 14 brings us to our picks for SIA.com/bonfire. And let's bring up our picks as of late. Zach, you continue to
log meddle. The bed, leave a steaming bonfire log in the bed every week. I'm losing ground every week to you, buddy.
You picked BC to cover 4 points, which was a pretty nice pick, if I might say so myself. They won by 9, but then you had Hamilton to cover the 7.5 point underdogs that they were.
That's you. You're looking at yourself.
Oh, is that me? Oh, well,
good
on you, DB.
Humble brag. Oh, Zach, you did this well. Oh, wait, I'm talking about myself.
I bet 2 units on each of these, and that's a wash. So I remain at +6. You put 3 units on the Bombers to win by to cover 7 points. You lost that, but then you gained one back by saying Edmonton would not lose by more than 5, and you were able to squeak into that one. So one back after losing 3, so you sit at -9. This upcoming week, let's look at the games for SIA.com/bonfire. The Hamilton Tiger Cats open the week in Ottawa as 3.5-point dogs. I'm taking Ottawa. This is a really, really good line, by the way. And by good, I mean crappy. Good as in really well placed. Ottawa, I think they will win this game and cover the 3.5 points. Did you see Duke Williams' tweet today? Orlando
I saw it because
Steinauer,
of
head coach of
you.
the Hamilton Tiger Cats, was asked about it. He said, well, Duke Williams suffered an injury, and that's what the tweet was all about. But he essentially said, it's been great, Hamilton. See you later. I don't know if I have the actual tweet in front of me here, but I think
Yeah.
things in Hamilton, after getting beat pretty well by the Toronto Argonauts, I like Ottawa with the points. Ottawa to cover the spread. You
That's
are
fair.
you taking Montreal?
I hadn't planned on it. I think you were
No,
going
I'm
to take
taking Montreal. Yeah, I'm taking Montreal. I like Montreal. I like Montreal to cover the 10.5-point spread against them. I just don't think the Argos are going to win a 2-score game. If they do, 10 points or 9. But you are taking the Blue Bombers. You got a big chunk on the Bombers to cover 8.5, Zach.
Yeah, they screwed me last week, but I have a feeling we are going to just absolutely curb stomp the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
You
And
think
we're
they
going to come
will,
out
eh?
quick. Yeah, just like we did to BC in the revenge game. We're going to come out quick. We're going to come out strong. Collarus is going to be mad. And I think that the offense, I don't think you're going to see Dalton Schoen drop balls like he did in the Labor Day Classic in the Banjo Bowl, buddy. I think they're going to take all that rage from last week and it's going to make them focused. It's not going to make them sloppy. It's going to make them focused. And there'll be a fierceness about the Bombers and just like it'll just be, I can't even think of the words. But I just think they're going to beat the living shit out of them, and I hope they do. And I'm going to be
Whoa, language, man. Jeez.
Oh, did you hear the F-bomb on the post-game show on OB? Someone got an F-bomb. No, it was the coach's show. Someone got an F-bomb in there. It was
Oh,
so
no.
funny.
I didn't.
Oh my God, it was so funny. They had to cut him off immediately.
So you're going heavy on the Bombers to cover 8.5, and you're putting
Yes.
a sprinkle on Edmonton as 2.5-point favorites at home in against the Calgary Stampeders in the rematch, which is an interesting line. So I got 2 units on Montreal to Montreal with the points, and I'm putting a sprinkle on Ottawa to cover 3.5 at home against the reeling Hamilton Tiger Cats. So SIA.com/bonfire. Tons of good stuff up there if you want to get to it. NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA upcoming. Tons of great NFL games you can play there as well. If you use that link, SIA.com/bonfire, you will get a 100% bonus up to $1,000. You really can't beat that anywhere. It's Canada's sportsbook, by the way.
Speaking of Bonfire, why am I not wearing my hat?
Oh, no, I got to take mine off now?
Have it sitting right next to me. Yeah, you got to take yours off now.
Yeah.
It's a beauty of a hat. Doesn't that look better, folks?
People are, you know what? You're just rubbing it in because people want it.
People do want it. They want it.
Yeah.
They want me. They want my hat. They want the hat. Dude,
I just want the Banjo Bowl to come. And after that, I want it to be Christmas. But like Bombers 1985 says, it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off Nakatomi Plaza.
Poor Severus Snape. He was a good actor. He died a few years ago, though.
You go right to that.
I'm dark. I'm not only did the Bombers lose, they didn't cover. They didn't have the win by 7. I'm getting killed here with the units. I'm just in a dark place. I'm in a dark place.
Well, there's no reason to be. It's a beautiful time of year. The Bombers have a loss in the rear view. The Madhouse is going to be rocking on Saturday afternoon. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff. So this is your plan. You are going to catch the pregame show, Game Day Winnipeg, with myself, Chris Walby, and a very, very special Banjo Bowl pregame edition guest. And then following the game, Game Day After Dark, you and me, Zach, we'll get the postgame show going here on Bonfire.
You haven't even told me who it is. Like, keep it from the Firestarters, fine, but you haven't even told me.
Well, maybe I'll tell you later. Maybe.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I gotta tell you about the phone conversation I had with somebody very interesting when we were talking about Jets coverage here on the channel.
Oh,
very interesting conversation.
Well, you need to get a Schnitzer and you need to get a Walby, so interested to see who those people are.
I don't know if I can ever replace the Schnitz. I don't know if I can ever find another Walby.
Yeah, but no, you can't find it. You definitely can't. You could replace me. You can't find another Walby, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, and a familiar face who has been on this channel before is going to join me for a little bit of NFL coverage this year. So Jets, NFL, CFL, Winnipeg sports, top to bottom, right here around the bonfire. So grab your log, cozy up, and we will take care of the rest. Great to see everybody in the live chat today. Always spirited in there. Holy man. 637, make that 39. 639 comments in the live chat today. That's awesome. We've been on the air for an hour. That is amazing. Great job, everybody. Love the spirited debate in there. If you're watching this afterwards, hit the comments below. I always read those. So does Chris Walby. I don't know if you do, Schnitzy. I send you the good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
by the way,
that's what you want to do. And then hit the thumbs up. Go do it right now.
Before we go, I have two questions. One, do you still think that 2-point convert by Sean Bain was a catch? And two, what do the Bombers have to do to beat the living tar out of the Riders this coming Saturday?
Well, I'll start with the first. Yes, I do. I still believe it was a catch. I like the way Mike O'Shea put it today. He said, if it was ruled incomplete on the field, then it would have been hard to find enough evidence to overturn. So it's probably one of those situations. But I mean, objectively, purely objectively, if that was a Nick Dembski catch or a Sean Bain catch, I think it was a catch. I feel he had full control of the ball. It touches the ground, but it did not assist him in any way. That's just the way I see it. I know a lot of people disagree with that. That's cool. It's okay if you disagree. You're still welcome around the bonfire. We can still talk. We don't cancel I'm not going to cut you off like other people seem to do.
Yes.
I'll leave it at that. Never mind.
Leave it at that, please. Yeah, leave it at that.
I'll follow the lead of the Blue Bombers quarterback and just leave the obvious unsaid.
Yeah. And here's what I think we need to do to beat the Riders. And then you jump in. I think we need to start faster. Like it can't take almost 2 quarters to complete a single pass. You've got to start faster. I also think they need to stick with the run if they can. Now, I don't know what happened in the Labor Day Classic. Like Oliveira was going off in the first half. Maybe the Riders started loading the box, so they just took away the run and tried to make Capellas. I do want blood and guts on Saturday. I think maybe they tried to take away the run, so Bombers started passing more. I don't know, but stick with Oliveira. He was just crushing guys, and limit those freaking returns.
Yeah.
You can't be giving up 30-odd yards per return on kick returns. You're not going to win.
Jeff Bowes
and
has
punt
it right
coverage.
There. Punt coverage.
Punt
kickoff
and kick coverage.
All of the special teams. All of it.
Brutal.
Yep.
Just absolutely brutal.
Yeah. And a big key for the Bombers on Saturday in the Banjo Bowl is for everybody in attendance to have a Bonfire Sports hat. Like Comet says, I'd like to work for Bonfire Sports. All I want back is a Bonfire black ball cap. You know, really trying to get it done. Really trying to get it done. But I'm trying to get some hockey and some NFL football for you guys. So, the plate is full. The plate is full. My cup
Yeah.
runneth over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's drowning me with all the spillover.
Yes, indeed.
It's always the Darrin Bauming
Indeed.
show. It's always about Darrin.
No, it's all about the Winnipeg Wolf Pack. You want to play some football? Girls and women aged 16 plus. You can play football. Great coaches who are invested in you as an athlete and as an individual. It's about development. It's about having fun. It's about playing the game. It's the greatest game on earth, in this humble person's opinion. Find more information about the Winnipeg Wolf Pack. info.wpgwolfpack@gmail.com. And that email address is also in the video description below. It's in your podcast description. If you need to find it, go to BonfireSports.ca, and there you'll find an easy link to our YouTube channel, and you can find it there. So play some football. It's awesome. Love it. Shout out to the Wolfpack.
Speaking of shout outs, I got to give a shout out to who is it here on the chat? Bombers 1985 again. They're getting another shout out. They called Jake Dolegala the Green Giant. That's pretty good.
Ho 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 ho.
Ho ho ho. Green
Eat
Giant.
your beans.
Yeah. The Green Giant. I love that.
That is good.
That's a great nickname for Dolegala.
I really liked the post-game interview that Jake Dolegala did with the incomparable Britt Dort. And, Britt thanked him after. He's like, thanks for leaning, like, Britt's undersized, fun size. And Jake Dolegala, obviously 6'7", right? And Dolegala bent over and just like did the interview almost like hands on his knees. For the post-game interview on TSN, and Britt thanked him after that. And he's like, it's not about height. It's like, I couldn't hear you. So, he needed to come down to that level, which was awesome. But, shout out Britt Dort. She's done a great job as the new kid on the block on TSN.
I like her.
And looking forward to the old kid on the block, our good friend John Liu, who is now here in Winnipeg, and he'll be manning the sidelines for TSN on Saturday in the Banjo Bowl. But with that, Zach, I mean, looking forward to the pregame, looking forward to the Banjo Bowl. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Kids are back in school.
Really
You get a little bit of a breath as a parent. Football galore with 2 leagues going right now. Hockey season right around the corner. Jets players arriving on the daily. And we got you covered here on Bonfire Sports. Everything's lovely, man.
Everything's looking up, and it will really look up if we lay the boots to the Rough Riders like we should, like we have the last number of Banjo Bowls. We've just crushed the Riders. Like in 2019, it was 35-10, I believe. Stravler started that game. 2021, I don't remember the score, but I think we beat them by like 20 or 30. And then last year it was like 54-20 or something. So looking for another Banjo Bowl beatdown, buddy.
Absolutely. It'll be a heck of a game at a sold out IG field, and better late than never. Good to see you, Joey Slattery, in the live chat. What's going on, man?
Oh, he's in the live chat. Holy.
Oh yes, him and his lady, huge fans of Bonfire Sports. They watch together all the time. Yeah, it's great. And we got the Prairie Rivalry Bash going on Thursday night.
Yes. No, Friday night.
Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Finn McCool's, if you haven't got your tickets, it's a Friday before Banjo Bowl every year. It's a fun time. Last year, you and I were there. Hustler showed up. Dustin Nielsen even showed up. Remember that?
Yep. And I think there was someone there named Kyle. Kyle, he had a big ring. Oh, Kyle Walters.
Yes. I bought him a beer.
Walters was there.
I bought him a beer and had a little chat with him and his wife. It was lovely.
You bought him a beer?
Come on down. Connect with Bomber Vixen or Reaper on Twitter or whatever the hell they call it. And
call Finn McCool's. They'll help you out. They'll help you out. All right. As we always do around this time, I leave it to you to sign us off, my friend, here on Bonfire Midweek.
Okay, I'm going to stick to my heritage. I'll say shalom. No, I'm just kidding. Sayonara, everybody.